Good morning. On the behalf of Dental Desk Academy, today let us talk about the OMM or the oral mucous membrane. So what exactly we'll be discussing today? We'll be talking about the definition and components of oral mucosa, functions of oral mucosa, classification of various types of mucosa, the regional distribution, what is the histological classification, okay, and then we'll be talking about in brief the importance of junctional epithelium, the dentogingival junction, and age changes in the oral mucosa. So without much ado, let us begin. Let me tell you that this slide, this particular presentation is oriented for gunshot points for you to solve MCQs. We're not going to discuss the myriad jargon of Orbans. We're not going to make it very cumbersome. It's going to be very pinpoint and exact. All right. So the oral mucous membrane is nothing but the moist lining of the oral cavity. Now, it is continuous with the skin at the lip and posteriorly with the pharyngeal mucosa. The main components are a squamous stratified oral epithelium, the underlying lamina propria, which is the connective tissue component, the mucosa and the submucosa actually. Then we will be talking in detail about the basement membrane, because it is this basement membrane or the basal lamina which separates the overlying epithelium from the underlying connective tissue or lamina propria. The submucosa may be present beneath this lamina propria. So first you'll have epithelium, okay, then you have a basal membrane, then you have the lamina propria or the connective tissue, and below this you can have submucosa. All right. Now, the oral cavity itself is divided into two parts. You have the vestibule, okay, which is vestibulum oris, and you have the cavum oris, which is the oral cavity proper. Okay. How is the color of oral mucosa decided? If you look at various, sites in oral mucosa, whether it's the floor of the mouth or the palate or the attached gingiva, everything is different. This all depends on the amount of vascularity, the melanin pigmentation present, the thickness of the covering epithelium, the degree of keratinization, very important, and whether there is the healthy tissue or a diseased tissue. The more the diseased tissue will be, the more reddish, the more reddish it will be. Okay, now what are the functions of the oral mucosa? First, you have a mechanical protection, that is basically barrier against mastication forces and trauma. Okay. Then you have, this was the mechanical protection. Then you have barrier protection against physical, chemical, and microbial insults. Sorry, again. Then you have the sensory function, the taste, the touch, pain, temperature. The tongue, a specialized mucosa comprising muscle, is here. And it is through the taste buds here which we are able to taste what we are tasting, whether it's sweet, sugar, salty, sour, or bitter. Then, of course, there is secretory function with respect to the minor salivary glands which are present in submucosa and particular sites. Okay. And then, of course, there is a thermoregulatory. We take temperature in the oral mucosa, right? Below the tongue. And aesthetic role, of course, based on color, texture, and surface moisture. Okay. Now for the classification of oral mucosa. The first classification is based on the function and the location. The second classification is based on the histological classification. So first, on the function and location, you have masticatory mucosa. This masticatory mucosa is a little tougher because it is keratinized. Okay. And where is it? It's in the gingiva and in the hard palate. Then you have the majority is actually comprising of lining mucosa. Lining mucosa is actually non-keratinized. So where is it? It's going to be in the lips, the cheeks, the soft palate. Okay. Hard palate is in masticatory mucosa. It's tougher. Okay. Then you have the alveolar mucosa, the floor of the mouth, and the ventral tongue. Okay, so maximum of the sites you can see are actually lining mucosa, which is non-keratinized. And then you have specialized mucosa, which I just mentioned because of the dorsum of tongue has taste buds. Okay, Some taste buds are also found in towards the soft palate. But yeah, one thing which I quickly wanted to tell, it's a very important MCQ. There are two types of, ulcers, a lot of types of ulcers actually. But you have like recurrent aphthous ulcers, you have herpes-based ulcers, herpetic gingivostomatitis, a part of that. Let me tell you, herpes ulcers are more predisposed towards masticatory mucosa, whereas, the recurrent aphthous ulcers are more predisposed towards coming on lining mucosa. This is an applied fact, very importantly asked in MCQs. So one more time, what are the keratinized areas? The masticatory mucosa. Apart from this, even vermilion border of the lip. And what about the non-keratinized areas? So as I said, most of the lining mucosa and even specialized mucosa. Okay, the dorsum of the tongue is mainly non-keratinized.